What's going on, guys? Zotis here, and this was a nice little streak that I had with the tank destroyer on armored shield, and this is basically just some little tactics on how to, use the tank destroyers pretty much effectively and efficiently when you're going in the battlefield. And so basically, I was in the helicopter, I ended up dying, so I spawned at our deployment since the closest flag to our base was already captured by them, and there was like 3 or 4 vehicles that were there, and most of them were like tank destroyers and stuff. So I grabbed the tank destroyer and I went to the first flag to capture it. This is one thing that I highly suggest doing if you die and you go and you look at your spawn and your closest flag to your base is captured by the enemies, because that's a very good flag to just take real quickly, real easily. And for armored kill, at least when you spawn and stuff, typically what you'll have is you'll have at least 3 tank destroyers on your side. You'll have mobile artillery, you'll have the mobile anti-air unit, and then plus you could have some air vehicles too. So pretty much what my order of operations for the flags is capture the one that's close to your base, 'cause that's the easiest because there's going to be less resistance there. So even if you do die, you'll be able to respawn real quickly, get a vehicle, and get to that flag before the enemy is able to fortify that position up with more vehicles. And then the next flag that I like going on is the whatever flag the AC-130 on, which is typically C, but it ranges, it varies. I think it's like B or C on some of the maps. And so depending on the layout of the map, most of the maps you could say kind of have like a diamond position, at least for all the flags and stuff, except for Albazor Mountain, because that one's got like 3 up top and like 3 on the bottom. And pretty much on that map I like being the I think it's the Russians at the very, very top. I think they have the advantage on that map, at least, because they're a lot closer to those top 3 points and stuff. And so that was a little bit harder because you have to go up the mountain and stuff when you first spawn. And so the Americans have a definite disadvantage on that conquest map. But you also, once you start unlocking your things for the vehicles, especially the tank destroyer, you want to actually use them too, because a lot of people are just, doing your standard loadouts and stuff. It doesn't take many points to unlock everything. I believe it's like 40,000 for your first service tower, which I did in a day and a half for the tank destroyers. They're pretty easy. And one thing that I recommend and highly suggest doing to rank your vehicles up, fairly quickly at least, is go capture flags. Even if it's your mobile artillery and you need to get the next unlock for it, drive it to a flag that's as close as you can. But you want to be smart when you do that too. Oh, look at this flag capture right here. I was driving trying to whore my points out to rank the vehicle up, and I got caught in the building, which was kind of funny. I thought I was gonna get stuck, but it didn't. But once you're done capturing the flags too, typically a lot more people are going to spot an armored kill, because if you have the AC-130 flag, they'll be able to spot. They're probably shooting at them. And so pretty much what I usually do is once I capture the flags that are closest to me in the AC-130 flag, what I typically like doing is looking around, seeing what units are spotted, and trying to engage the first unit that's possible. And so typically with this tank destroyer that I was coming up on here, he started going towards the flag up there, but the helicopter ended up spotting me, so he pretty much knew where I was. And this is just some good fighting techniques here, where with the tank destroyer, it's something that I highly recommend that you always keep moving with the tank destroyer, always keep moving around, because that's what it's there for. And towards this end of the clip here too, or towards the end of the gameplay, I actually stopped moving around and I ended up dying. And so that's my biggest tip for the tank destroyers: just keep moving around, play it smart, depending on what weapons you have. One of the very first things you unlock is the high explosive rounds for the tank destroyers, which is another basically main shell for it that does less damage than your normal cannon. What the high explosive is meant for is supposed to be for infantry around, because it'll do more damage to the infantry if they're around than compared to armored per se. And what was shooting at me there was the mobile artillery. If he would have been a pinch higher, he would have gotten me. Those shells, if they hit you directly on, they will take, I think it's about half your life, 3/4, and one I think could even disable you. Because from my experience using the artillery, at least, if you get a direct hit, a lot of times you'll actually disable the vehicle. And if you're shooting straight on again with the other rockets, you'll typically kill the vehicle. And so this was a point where I was, driving up to the flag, and I saw the guy coming up, and instead of trying to get stuck in that little area capturing the flag, I ended up backing out and re-engaging the guy at a distance too. And another thing also, smoke. I highly recommend that middle unlock slot or whatever to use smoke instead of thermal or anything like that. It's gonna help you so much more, because you're going to have people using the guided shells in the tank destroyer. Once they unlock that, the helicopters will still be up in the air. And even for the AC-130, it helps too if you pop smoke, because that gunner, it might give you a second chance just to slow down and move around and try to get some cover maybe if the AC-130 is shooting at you. And this is the 1.2 where it's getting down on this nice little run that I had with the tank destroyers. I stayed in this one spot. The missiles from the artillery were hitting me, and I just stayed still. What I should have done was back up. You got to be smart. I know the helicopter's there, but basically what I should have done is backed up, tried taking the helicopter route. Someone in the LAV, the anti-air one, mobile AA, ends up taking him out, and I just stood here like a jackass. And so that's what pretty much ends up getting me killed too, because he was already hitting me, and all I needed to do was just probably back up, 10, 15 feet, repair it until I get out, start to repair it. And of course, he was hitting me still. And so the next volley of missiles ended up blowing me up and blowing the tank destroyer. See, it's just be a little smart. You just gotta keep moving. That's the main thing for the tank destroyers. Just keep moving. And hope you guys enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.